Alright, gather round, you land-dwelling primates. Because today we're diving into a story that proves the ocean is not just a place for fancy cruises. It is a terrifying, dark, high-pressure abyss filled with things that would make H.P. Lovecraft say, "Maybe I should write about kittens instead." We are talking about the year 1978, the year of Greece, the year Garfield the cat was born, and the year the United States Navy learned a lesson. Their multi-million-dollar warships are essentially just chew toys for the deep-sea mafia. The protagonist of our story is the USS Stein. The Stein was a Knox-class frigate, a fast, maneuverable warship designed to protect other ships from submarines. The bodyguard of the ocean. It was brand new, fresh out of the shipyard in San Diego, packed with the latest Cold War tech, its crown jewel, an advanced anti-submarine sonar system located in a massive rubber-domed bulb on the hull right below the waterline. This dome was covered in a special rubber coating called nothane, designed to be acoustically transparent so the sonar could hear submarines. So there's the USS Stein cruising off the coast of California on its maiden voyage, doing important Navy stuff. Suddenly the sonar goes dark, just dead. The operators are looking at their screens like they just saw a blue screen of death. No signal, no pings, just silence. The captain, annoyed that his expensive new toy is broken, orders the ship back to San Diego. They pull the Stein into dry dock, the water drains away, and the crew walks underneath the hull to see what happened. And that's when the scientific horror movie begins. Petty Officer Ira Carpenter climbs up to inspect the sonar dome. He expects to see a loose wire or maybe some seaweed. Instead, he sees the rubber coating is absolutely shredded. It looked like someone had taken a giant underwater chainsaw to the ship. There were massive gashes, some over 4 feet long. But here's the kicker, embedded in those gashes were claws. Carpenter joked, "Looks like we've been attacked by small alligators," which is a hilarious thing to say when you're looking at a warship physically assaulted by the Pacific Ocean, but they weren't alligators. Alligators don't usually hang out in the open ocean trying to disable sonar equipment. They have better things to do. The Navy, concerned that Godzilla might be real, called in the big guns. Enter Dr. Forrest Glenn Wood, a man who worked for the Navy and was basically the Sherlock Holmes of marine biology. Wood looked at the organic fragments pulled from the ship's hull, and his jaw probably hit the floor. He concluded that these weren't just claws. They were the hooks from the tentacles of a colossal squid, specifically Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni. Now let's pause for a second. Most of you know the giant squid Arrogance ducks. That's the one from Jules Verne novels. But the colossal squid? That's the giant squid's bigger, meaner, more heavily armed cousin. While the giant squid has suckers with little serrated teeth, the colossal squid has swiveling, three-pronged hooks on its tentacles. It doesn't just grab you. It velcros you into oblivion. Dr. Wood estimated that based on the size of the hooks, the creature that attacked the ship was, well, let's just say uncomfortably large. At the time, we didn't have a lot of data. We mostly find them as half-digested chunks inside the stomachs of sperm whales, which is a very rude way to study a species. But here's where the crazy maybe science kicks in. The USS Stein was off the coast of California. Colossal squids are supposed to live in the Southern Ocean, near Antarctica. They like it cold, like I can't feel my face cold. California in the late 70s was many things, but it was not Antarctica. So what was a colossal squid doing there? Hypothesis A, it was a rogue squid. Maybe it got tired of eating toothfish and decided to go on a spring break road trip. Maybe it was sick or dying or just really, really lost. Hypothesis B, the sonar. Remember, the sonar dome is a giant rubber bulb. To a giant predatory cephalopod with eyes the size of dinner plates, that sonar dome might have looked and sounded like a giant whale. Sperm whales and colossal squids are legendary rivals. They've been fighting an underwater war for millions of years. It's the original Godzilla vs. Kong, but with more slime. It's entirely possible that this squid heard the sonar, thought, oh, it's that jerk Jerry the sperm whale again, and decided to throw hands. Or tentacles, whatever, but let's look at the sheer physics of this. The colossal squid can weigh up to 500 kilograms, that's over 1,100 pounds. That's a literal half-ton of muscle and ink. They have the largest eyes of any living creature, designed to spot prey in the pitch-black midnight zone of the ocean. And yet, despite being massive, they are ghosts. It wasn't until 2025, yes, very recently that scientists finally managed to get high-definition footage of a living colossal squid. For decades, the only proof we had that they even existed were carcasses and the battle scars found on sperm whales. Whales are often covered in circular scars from squid suckers. But the scars from a colossal squid are different. They are long, deep slashes from those hooks. The same kind of slashes found on the USS Stein. Think about the confidence you need to have to attack a 4,000-ton steel warship. That squid didn't care about the Geneva Convention. It saw a giant humming rubber ball and decided to engage in tactical CQC. Now some skeptics might say, maybe it wasn't a squid. To which I say, debris doesn't leave organic, curved, chitinous claws embedded in rubber. Debris doesn't have DNA. Also, Dr. Wood was a pro. If he says it's a squid, it's a squid. But why did it stop? Why didn't it sink the ship? Well, because a frigate is made of steel and the squid realized pretty quickly that it was trying to eat a giant metal vibrating rock. It probably broke off a few hooks, got a massive headache from the sonar, and descended back into the depths to rethink its life choices. This brings us to the concept of deep-sea gigantism. Why are things in the deep ocean so big? One theory is that the cold temperatures lead to a slower metabolism and a longer lifespan, allowing animals to just keep growing. The colossal squid is the undisputed king of this gigantism. It makes the giant squid look like a calamari appetizer. And the fact that one of them was hanging out near California in 1978 suggests that there is a lot more overlap between our world and theirs. The USS Stein incident remained a classified weird thing for a long time. It's one of those stories sailors tell at the bar. And everyone laughs until they see the photos of the shredded nothing coating. It's a reminder that we've mapped Mars, but we still have zero idea what's happening 2,000 meters below our own boats. Every time we think we've conquered the ocean sends a giant hooked monster to remind us that we are just visitors. The Stein survived the attack, but its dignity? Not so much. Imagine having to explain to the admiral that your state-of-the-art submarine hunter was taken out by a giant calamari. Sir, the sonar is down. Is it the Russians? No, sir, it's a very angry mollusk. Get out of my office, Johnson. But Johnson was right. The evidence was right there. The colossal squid, Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni, remains one of the most elusive predators. They live in a world of crushing pressure and freezing darkness. They hunt by staying perfectly still, waiting for the blink of a fish, and then bam, hooks out. Game over, and maybe, just maybe, they have a sense of humor. Because choosing to attack a US Navy warship is a top-tier crazy maybe move. It's the oceanic equivalent of a squirrel attacking a tank. It's not going to win, but the sheer audacity of the attempt deserves our respect. So next time you're at the beach, looking out at the beautiful blue horizon, just remember, somewhere way down there in the dark, there is a creature. With eyes the size of basketballs and tentacles covered in razor-sharp, rotating hooks, and it might just be waiting for the next vibrating rubber ball to come along. The USS Stein incident isn't just a naval footnote. It's a scientific mystery that reminds us that the Kraken isn't a myth, it's just a biological reality that we haven't fully categorized yet. We call it colossal, we call it hamiltoni, but the Navy probably calls it the reason we need stronger rubber. In the end, the ocean is a place of wonder, but it's also a place of what the heck was that? And as long as we keep sailing our little metal bathtubs over their territory, the residents of the deep are going to keep reaching up to say hello, usually with hooks. Stay dry, stay curious, and for the love of everything holy, if you see a giant rubber dome floating in the water, don't touch it. The mystery of the USS Stein remains one of the coolest science meets military crossovers in history. It's 100% real, 100% weird, and 1000% the reason I don't swim in water deeper than my knees. Because while I love science, I prefer my biology lessons to not involve three-pronged hooks embedded in my hull. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk on why the ocean is a nightmare. Now go buy some calamari and show them who's boss. Just kidding, please don't fight the squids. They're clearly winning.